baby. We're here. Jazz hands up. Ready to go.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, crafty friends.
Isn't this wonderful? A new day, a new show. There we are. I hear myself
Super excited.
in the delayed replay. There's a squeaky voice I always hear when I'm associated. Look at all those fun friends coming in. I see some familiar avatars. That's
Yes,
neato.
welcome.
Can I move her picture over just a little bit, please? Thanks, because I can't see everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. There we go. I can see it all now. Very good, very good. Nice. We don't know what we're doing, so this is going to be exciting.
We literally don't know what we're doing.
We really don't know what we're doing. Hi, Brenda. Hi, TR. Joni.
Welcome, everyone. I cannot see your comments now, but I will be able to in just a few minutes. So.
Okay. The worst thing, you haven't done probably too many YouTube lives. You can put analytics up, like live analytics, so you can see the graph go up and then all of a sudden it starts to go down and it's super scary. And so that's been taken away from me because it's like I get analytic constipation or something, but it's just not a good thing, not a good look for me. Should I do an honest to goodness introduction? All right, let's do it. Hi, I'm Mary Gunn of Mary Gunn Fun. Welcome to not Craft Roulette, but welcome to Cut the Crap and Create, episode 1. Today we're going to be talking to a wonderful paper crafter named Call Me Crafty Al. If you have been around Craft Roulette with me, you will know Crafty Al from Craft Bowl, which turned out a whole lot better than the Super Bowl, and well, at least for Kansas City friends. But and you will know her also just from previous Craft Roulette shows. If you're a YouTube craft watcher, you probably already know about her. Crafty Al is right there. She's in Nebraska. I'm in Missouri. And she is a brave, brave soul. If you can, can you give hearts and things like that on YouTube lives?
I think thumbs ups.
Thumbs up or whatever you can give her. That would be great. If you have not subscribed to Crafty Al's YouTube, get on it. You're going to want to because she does some really good content for card makers especially. So, Crafty Al, welcome to episode 1 of Cut the Crap and Create. It's fun to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me be your guinea pig.
You're an excellent guinea pig. Did you eat your vegetables today? We used to have a guinea pig, and Harry. And Harry was on my first blog and had his own. I think it was, we thought it was a girl, but it wasn't. But her own page. And somebody said, I thought Harry Gunn was going to be your husband, but it was my guinea pig. But, there's some thumbs up. Thank you, TR. We also have another voice in the room. We have Mr. Producer himself, the designer of Craft Roulette and Cut the Crap and Create, Stephen Gunn. Say hi, Stephen.
Hello.
He is going to keep us in line, and he's also, if you've ever been on Craft Roulette, you will hear him making comments in the background just ever so faintly, and then I have to repeat them. So we decided that it was time to give him a microphone. So we're going to try it. Earlier, Crafty Al and I were thinking about getting rid of that microphone already, so he's on.
He had better behave.
That's right. The only problem is he knows all the tech stuff, and we don't know any of it. So, all right. Well, cut the crap and create. What does that sound like? We don't even know exactly, but we do know that sometimes we put up a lot of barriers for our creative time. We have to do this. We have to do that. We're not good enough to do this. We're not good enough to do that. I need this new product. I don't know where that is. Lots of barriers and excuses to keep us from exercising our creative muscle. So this is kind of what we're coming up with, is just conversation with creators about their creativity. We're not here to do particularly projects, but we will be going down to our hands, and we're just going to be doodling and catching up on some of our own projects that we want to work on. It's just a little bit different. It's not going to be very formed. It's pretty free fall. It's not a lesson. It's not a tips, techniques, and video voiceover. We're just going to talk to Crafty Al about her creative process, what kind of things what kind of things pop up in her creative life that make it hard for her to do things. What are some inspirations? What kind of things make her tick? So, Crafty Al, you're in for it, girl. But we also told her before the show that she's off. Obviously, she can ask us questions too, because this is a dialogue, even though I'm the only one doing it right now. It's a monologue. And it is a conversation more than an interview. So we're just going to relax and pretend that you and I are at a table together. And we're just talking about what we love, which is paper crafting. That's not a bad gig, is it?
Yes.
We know about that.
And in a time where you can't get together and craft with your friends, this will be nice. It'll be like you're there crafting with them. So.
I think so. And you guys get to be, you know, that thing that you go, oh, I wish I was on the fly on the wall of somebody's craft room to see how they tick, what makes them put this piece of paper there, and how did they decide to make this project. It's going to be a little bit like that, but we're going to just pull back the curtain and let us see what it's like to be in Crafty Al's space. Speaking of which, would you like to give us a little tour of your crafty space and just tell us a little bit about why you have it the way you have it, and does it spark joy, so to speak?
Well, I can try. We'll try this. It is a new space for me. I switched from the smaller part of the basement, but we can give this a shot.
Ooh,
keep in mind that we took out all the ceiling tiles because we refinished our kitchen, so it's ugly up there. If you see it, just ignore it.
Yeah.
All right.
We all have it.
All right. So over here, first of all, I have paper racks. I have 8.5 by 11 for my cardstock and 12 by 12. And below it, I have a lot of IKEA furniture. So below it, I keep my dies in little bins, and then below that are my punches, because I still love a good border punch. You will notice as we go around, I have a lot of Hamilton stuff because I'm a Hamil fan. I'm going to back out slowly as we come around. This might be interesting to people who ask. I get a lot of questions like, how do you take photos of your cards? And if they're not on my desktop where I videotape, I kind of made a light box in one of these squares.
Sweet.
That's just wallpaper at the background, and then I'll take this stuff out when I take my photos.
What kind of light do you have in there?
Well, I actually bought a cheap light box on Amazon, and something was faulty with the outside, so they sent me a brand new one. So I just they're just like LED strips. I don't know if you can see them.
Neato. Very hackable.
And then below that, I keep all of my like Cricut vinyl, Cricut tools. And then we'll move over. Hopefully it's not too shaky, guys. To my main work area.
Ooh, you're like in a capsule. Space shuttle.
Yeah, kind of a little.
I love it.
Little U. I have my stamps in the top section. I just bought those bins. I am working on organizing them, but it is a process.
It's always
below
it's ongoing.
Yes, below it I think are like embellishments and gems and fibers, that kind of stuff. And my die board, which I have a video about if you're interested. And then my last little section are my Gina K ink, some of my coloring stuff, and my printers. And then here is where the magic happens. And this is what you might think on my video, it's like some real fancy desktop. It's a piece of foam board with some wallpaper on it. But yeah, that's it.
TV in Hollywood and Crafty Al.
Yes.
What can I see what you do with your ATG? I saw it sitting up. Please.
Oh yes.
That looked like a.
So my
Some
My
cleverness.
brother-in-law actually made this for my sister and my mom and I, and it just sits right in there all nice.
Holy smokes, that's like a brilliant
Yeah,
thing.
fancy.
I like that. That was very nice of him.
It was.
Does he know my
It was very
address?
handy.
Just kidding. Sorta. Well, that's neat. So, Crafty Al told me that she just loaded up her ATG, so she's ready to roll. That's neat. Hey, thank you
Ready
for
to
doing
glue.
that. I think organizing is a crafter's like level B hobby. It's
I don't think it ever ends.
it's like this. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly, crafting and organizing, and always thinking that
Hmm.
we're going to get that perfect craft done, and always thinking we're going to have the perfect organization. Myths, I tell you, myths.
Do you
Yeah,
use
every time I've
tools?
wanted to do a control Z in my life, it's been when I decided to reorganize. Like I just want to just pretend like it didn't happen and go back.
And you get in a mess, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've run out of steam, and now what? I just thought of something I want to make, and now you've got stuff all over, and you've all of a
I
sudden
found
decided
so
to get
much good
creative.
stuff. Yeah, I found so much good stuff when I was organizing. Yeah, I
Did
wanted
you
to
put it
stop, but
in
I
a special
can't.
place to use sooner than later?
I do have some stuff back here on a basket,
Priorities.
but no, I still am going to have to remember what I saw and wanted to use.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all part of it, isn't it? Oh, Hildenell says your room is so nice and tidy. You don't have a mask.
Oh, no, please. I I I decided yesterday I was getting on it because today was a big day and my room has never looked so good, and give it 10 minutes and it's going to look like a tornado was through here.
Yeah, baby, that's what we
So,
do. That's what we do.
I usually work with piles around me.
Yep,
So,
yep. I hear you. I'm right there, and it's just a controlled chaos, and it's a lovely thing. I would don't I don't know if I would ever even trust a neat crafter completely. It's just you'd worry about them a little bit. I don't know. They would never run with scissors, and I might. And this when you have scissors and you start talking with your hands, and you've got this pointed object, and a tidy crafter would never do that. But
We have a couple questions.
okay, okay.
First one is, what kind of tripod do you have? It can be general.
for me, I was using a tripod with a bar that came over my desk. But hey, I started out with a $15 phone holder from Amazon, like a gooseneck. Recently, though, when I decided to invest in some studio lights, we did buy just a straight pole that comes down from the ceiling, and then I have my phone or my camera coming out of that.
That's
I
what
am
we have.
all about finding cheap workarounds. I used IKEA lights with socks on them for the longest time.
Yep.
Crafters go way out. Paper crafters go way outside paper crafting. They craft life.
And then one more about your magnetic board behind.
Hmm.
That one just big magnetic board. Guys.
Yeah. So that is at back to school time at Walmart, they had like the big whiteboards on sale. I think that board cost me $20. I did have to buy the magnets off Amazon. Those were a little more expensive, but it was like probably $50, $60 for the whole thing. And I was looking up like specialized tool boards, like for hardware or whatever for tools, I guess. And they were like hundreds of dollars.
Hack away, my dear. Hack away. You little
Yes,
craft hacker. That's really good. And you said you have a video on that, so we can put that in the comments or
I do.
down below. We'll just add the link to that because that is quite an impressive piece. It's a
Yeah, and I can look at it and I used to have them all in drawers and I would always forget what I had. Well, here I can just look at it.
I
Like
was
the other
gonna
day when I made
ask.
my gnome card. So,
I was
yes.
gonna ask, do you use tools that you can see more often than tools that you have put away?
I mean, yes,
sometimes.
definitely. You know, like there's stuff I haven't used just because it's not out on my desk. And like I said, I discovered so many things I had forgotten I had. So I definitely, yeah, I usually have like a few punches on my desk and those always get used. A
Hmm.
couple embossing folders, those always get used.
Hmm. So you're a visually inspired person.
Definitely.
Yeah. Visual art, who makes visual arts. Yep.
Yes.
I see a connection. I do. I do. It's I think it's true because you can it's amazing how I will look at a series of cards and all of a sudden I start seeing an element that repeats itself on a series of cards over a month or whatever. But it's not a bad thing because oftentimes they will be used in different ways. So it's actually kind of a groovy thing to be able to see the different ways that it has been used and more bang for your buck kind of thing. So smart girl. Yeah,
Yes.
it's all good. I think that's so you can read backwards. Is this what I'm hearing on your die? All your words up there, are those backwards or are those forward?
Yeah, they're backward.
so so when Facebook had all
Some
those,
of
oh,
them
you're
are
a
hard.
genius if
Yeah.
you can read this backwards. You're a genius because you can
That's
read
me.
dice backwards.
Yeah.
But do you have trouble going left, right, or just has it messed you up? No.
No, there are some though that are very hard. Like some of these words in cursive, I probably would have to cut them out because they're just really fine. But otherwise, it's like happy and birthday and
Yeah.
thanks. So
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the best. I think those are great dice. The real general ones. I like the real general ones because you can do fun
yeah,
things with them. So, yep. Okay. Well, this is going all right so far. Should we
yeah,
show kiss our brains? Take a little second and reward ourselves. Um, should we show the little thing that about what Crafty Owl does? Our next screen,
Yeah.
maybe. So if you are new to Crafty Owl, this is one of her kind of famous things. Is her sheet load of cards. And would
yes,
you say this is like your go-to number one claim to fame?
yes. I
Yeah.
mean, like I had some subscribers before Sheetload, and as soon as I brought it back, my channel grew a lot faster. And I think it's just, you know, if you're a beginning crafter, you can enjoy it, or if
Mhm.
you're a seasoned crafter, you
Mhm.
can enjoy it. And I'm kind of like a formulaic person. When I was young, I loved to write creatively, but like my favorite subjects are like math, where there's a right answer, there's a wrong answer. And I just love having things kind of spelled out for me. And then I can add my own flair, I guess, at
So
the
that's your
end.
gift to the world, is a formulaic, spelled out process for card building. That's not a bad thing. That's pretty nice, actually. So your scratch, you kind of felt your own itch, found to find your niche. You found your itch, and boy, that should be a stamp or something. A whole webinar right there. Um, just want a small residual, just a small one. No, but seriously, you saw a need for the in the community based on what your needs are because you couldn't find it, right? Kind of.
Well, I found it like in the past with like one sheet wonders. I used to
Right.
do those, you know, like 15 years ago. But then I kind of like when I find a shirt that I like, I want to buy that shirt in every color. So when I find a sketch I like, I want to like use that as
Hmm.
much as I can,
Hmm.
and I just kind of put those two together.
So can you explain what the difference of a one sheet wonder is and a sheet load?
Yes, so a one sheet wonder is you would just take one piece of pattern paper and you cut it in different ways. So you end up with maybe 10 cards that look completely different from each other, but you can keep making those same layouts just with different cardstock and with different pattern paper. Well, with Sheet Load, I give you one sketch and I just tell you how to cut your paper. I try to be the most economical to
Hmm.
get as many of those cards as you can.
Hmm. Yeah, of one design,
Yes.
which to me is much more friendly. Because, oh boy, I can make 12 different cards out of a 12 by 12 paper, but now I've got 12 different stacks, and I've got to look up 12 different designs, and nobody's going to see them all anyway because I only send out one card at a time.
Yeah, and I tried it, like when I first started Sheetload years ago, you know, piece A would always be the same pattern, piece B would always be the same pattern. And when I brought Sheetload back, I did that the first couple times, but then I started cutting it so different patterns from different pieces, so you can kind of mix and match those so they don't all look exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, paper's changed quite a bit over the years too, with the front and the back and the and even though now they're all pretty formulaic in some ways. Oh, we've got a package that has a tone on tone. We have a package that has a hero. Now we have or the main image, and that's fine. It's all fine because we're getting used to having those things, and it helps us with some of our creative times too. So you took a hiatus from Sheetloads for quite a while, like 10 years. What was up with that?
Well, I'm sure at the time I knew. I don't know if I had started going back to work after, you know, like maybe my daughter was going into school. But I mean, even now, I mean, it's hard to come up with new sketches, you know, so I had probably kind of thought I had worn out my welcome then, and I was ready for a change.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed doing it this time, and I hope I can keep going for years.
Well, I know the crafters that I run out with or hang out with love them. So, and a lot of people do like the bulk cards for soldiers and different charities. So it's perfect. So you're actually, I asked Crafty Al before the show if she was involved with the charity, but well, you know what? You really are. You're involved with facilitating lots of other card makers for their own charity causes. So kiss your brain. You did great. That's right.
Trickle down charity.
Trickle down charity giving. That's right. Stephen, do you have a question?
The chat does. Mary would like to know how long it takes to develop the Sheetload of Cards project.
You're gonna be surprised.
Yeah, we had just talked about that. So there's always the process of like coming up with the sketch. And a lot of times what I do, I actually go back to my old defunct blog and I'll look at cards I made and see if I liked the layout and if I could translate it to a sketch. And once I'm actually ready to get on the computer and design this file, that is probably 6 to 8 hours of work getting that ready, you know, designed, made into a PDF and uploaded.
They don't just come together like
Brenda,
real easy.
Really fast. Brenda would like to know which program you use to design your.
I use the Adobe Creative Suite. Mainly I use Adobe Illustrator, so if you ever wanted to do this, you wouldn't have to pay for the whole suite. You could just buy the one, or I guess it's a subscription, the one software. But yeah, I design stuff in Illustrator.
Yeah, that's...
Sometimes InDesign, it depends.
That takes some know-how. So you're putting in a lot of effort for your Sheetloads. And that's a crafty thing to do because we put in a lot of effort for sharing our craft with people, I think. And it's just a big deal now that so many people are sharing. I remember when... I
love to see it. I love it. I love to go like on Instagram and see people use it.
So they do hashtag your Sheetloads so that you can find them and things. That's
and
nice.
They tag me, yeah.
And you have... Or you have a design team of your own that makes the Sheetloads with their own spins, or do you... How's that work?
I do. Every month on the 2nd, my collaboration team shares their set using it, and there are no sets that ever look the same.
No.
It's so just everybody has their own take, their own spin on it, and they might literally spin the sketch, you know? It's fine.
And it's fair. It's fair to absolutely change it completely because we get an idea, right? So we were talking about this. I was warning Crafty Al what kind of questions I might ask. But so you go back in time to get some creative ideas. What other places do you like? You get the nudge. You get an idea nudge where you just go, Oh, do you get that little itch once again? An itch where you go, this is it. I gotta make something out of this idea.
I pin a lot of stuff on Pinterest. I that was probably my number one until recently. Now it's Instagram a lot. I save a lot of things on there, and I'm gonna go make that. Now I don't always get to craft for fun and make that stuff, but
Right.
I get so much inspiration.
I think it's funny when I get do you get the Pinterest emails? You can
No,
do that.
I don't.
Oh, yeah,
don't
you
think
can
I
get
do.
Pinterest. I get them at least once a day with, here's some ideas we think you'd like. And then I open it up and I see 5 of my own. And I go, I forgot about that. I guess I do like it. I made it. So, yeah, I'll have to figure out how to do that, and I'll send it to you. But and I'll try to put it in the comments below. But, yeah, you can get Pinterest emails, and they will pick out like groups of projects. Like, here's a mixed media or sheetload of cards or one sheet wonder kind of things. And
it's a rabbit. It's like a black
gosh.
hole when I get on Pinterest. It just keeps going.
Yep, we all grow our rabbit ears and just hop around for, I'm not going to do it this time. And then suddenly 5 hours it's gone. It's like Netflix. It's like, what is this? The screen, it just pulls you in. I used to, when I would go to, sometimes I still do, but when I go into Pinterest and want to look for something in particular, I make a little card and put it on my screen so I can remember what I was originally going for.
What you're actually there for.
Yes, before I pin 5 recipes for bread that cannot fail, and all those different things. It's just, it really does help. It's like squirrel, rabbit hole. Yeah. So, but I don't even think
definitely like when you give a mouse a cookie. I
Yes.
start one thing and then I'm off
Exactly.
5 other places.
That was my character for a Halloween one time. I had the overalls on and a great big cookie, so it fit me real well. We got some friends that go down rabbit holes too, so we're all very familiar with each other's personalities in many ways. Yep, Joni says she uses your layouts for Cards for Soldiers. Well done, Joni. Thank you so much. Neato. Yep, we got Sharon loves your sheet loads. Iona loves your
Thank
sheet
you,
loads.
everyone.
Yeah, schlock. Do you call it schlock? Schlock? Sheet loads of cards? Schlock?
Oh, that's what I abbreviate it to. But I don't know that I've actually ever called it slock, but that is what I abbreviate it to.
I rather like it. Now, slock on the run. Slock. You've got a whole nother area. Another rabbit hole you can drag us along. But
Yeah.
slock on the run. Slock at a crop. Slock here. Slock there. Here a slock. There a slock. Everywhere a slock. Slock. I like it, but I'm easily entertained. So so Pinterest. Pinterest does it for you. Do you remember going shopping in the old days?
On
Like real
Like
honest
at
to goodness, go into a store and see
Oh.
things?
yeah.
Did you ever get a nudge from color combinations that you see in other places, shirts and things like that?
Maybe some clothing, but I would have to say in the past it was more like if I had a magazine and I saw an ad, I might like, how they laid out that ad, and I thought, oh, that would make good proportions. I know in the past I've had another collaboration on YouTube called Oh So Inspired, and most of the time we would take cards and be inspired by them, but sometimes I would take like a holiday mantle picture and people would be inspired by that. So yeah, I just like to drag things out.
It's everywhere. Anywhere, anything you can look at. You can go big or little. You can go down to the micro size and go, this anything you change size wise too. If you make some on a card, if you make it cute and little, it's like, oh, that's so cute and little. That's it. Or you just do a portion of a close-up of a wreath or something along those lines. So anytime you change the size of an element on a card, it sometimes will add to its charm, I think. What do you like, big or little?
Aren't baby shoes so cute just because they're so tiny?
Yes, exactly. They're just so darn cute. That's why I like abbreviations like SLOC, because they're little and they're cute. Do you should we go down to our hands and just we just brought some kind of things to mess around with talking, and you've looked, I'm tired of seeing my face, so we're gonna put it on my face while you flip.
Yep, here we go.
Here I am. So this is fun. Thank you guys for being here. If you do know somebody that likes to hear talk about crafts, this is a great time to share if you can. But we're not gonna cut the crap with just paper crafts. We're going to be cutting the crap on the 19th with Cindy Raven from Sugar Chat Studios. She is a cookie artist of extraordinary proportion, and she's so fun to watch. I'm gonna have trouble figuring out how I can do something and have her do something, because she has taught at Cookie Con. Did you know there's a Cookie Con? I mean, to tell you, there's like craft worlds, microcosms in the world that I'm real excited to explore. So she's coming on the 19th, I think at 1. We don't have a set schedule for Cut the Crap and Create, and we're just trying to suit our crafters. So, but that's where we're starting. So I think it'll be fun. We hope you'll join us and find, and even if you're just crafting along with us, you have us in your background and buzzing in your ear. We love having you here, and we like to pretend you're right with us. So anyway.
And what is Craft?
What is Craft Roulette? We are on the youtube.com/Craft Roulette channel, because Craft Roulette is our paper craft game show. It's usually, and
how we met.
This is true. This is how we met Crafty Al. She saw a Craft Roulette in her YouTube feed, and she left a comment and said, "I want to be a part of this." So we said, "We want you to be a part of this too." So it's bridged a new friendship for us, and a great gal to hang out with.
Friday nights.
It's Friday nights, 6:30 Central Time, but we also have a premiere replay on Saturdays at noon Central Time. So right here on YouTube. So
the show's on Facebook, though.
Yes, the show is
a little confusing.
It is. But great things are coming out of Craft Roulette. We're having so much fun. We have submissions that people send in. You can go to craftroulette.live and see all the past shows and all the past entries and submissions. We also we even have a spin-off show for Craft Roulette, which is Contributor Showcase, and that's on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock Central Time, right here on the Craft Roulette YouTube channel. And we go through all the submissions for the week, because we're getting like 50, and it's really fun. I'm having a blast with it. So, Miss Al, are you ready? She's giving me thumbs up. She's ready. Good deal. All right. What are you going to work on today, just while we talk?
I am going to do a SLOC, a sheetload of cards. That's what I'm going to call it now. And I'm doing July 2020. Everything was pre-cut. I'm just going to glue it all together while we chat.
Sounds great. And remember, we're not set up to do a lesson here. We are just set up to chat and kind of, I'm cleaning up my mess because I had a class last night and I haven't cleaned up. So I may get bored with cleaning up my mess really fast. And that happens.
So Mary, tell me about your classes when you're done there. I'd like to know more.
Okay. I'm the head professor and founder of Fun University, which is a premium education site for paper crafters. And we do live streamed classes on our little site. We do scrapbooking, card making, and then kind of a mix of other things. We have a study, and it's all based on the theme of colleges or universities. So we have study hall, and we have fundamentals, which is like a 101 class for that are in the library. Well, we also have a very extensive library of all the past classes, and they do rather build on each other. It has turned out. It started as a way as when I was a close to my heart consultant, and I wanted to have a business college, and a hobby college because I had a lot of people that were watching me that were consultants, and that was fine. But then I realized I'm really not that good at business. So the business thing, I couldn't get it to go. I couldn't get my mojo up for it. So we scrapped the business college, and so then we came into just the crafting part of the college, and then another roadblock. We were talking about roadblocks before. Another roadblock hit me in the face, which was I couldn't keep up with the release schedule, and it was not my library was losing value, and so
people couldn't buy the papers or the lessons.
Yes.
So the lesson library was rendered
just worthless. So I quit close to my heart, and I mean it's been kind of a big deal, but after 20 years, but it's been fun. I still have lots of consultants. We have that watch us, and
the lesson format to not teaching bits, but teaching ideas and just teaching art concepts through paper,
which is really fun, and it's turned out that I love it. So we do art, we do color theories, and we do design elements, and we do it with scrapbooking, card making, and other. So it's kind of become my heart. And then and we do have a good time with it. We have some really nice community that we work with, and we've all become kind of buds. So that's what I do. Does that answer? Do you have a little more?
That does. I loved hearing more about it. I didn't realize that it was that involved, so that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's stinking crazy involved.
It's about 15 hours of live streaming a month. Classroom.
Yep. And I actually have time to sleep, so if that's the next question, I'm a good sleeper. TR says she can't hear you very well, Stephen. Which is, so he can adjust that. Thank you for letting us know. Is everything else going all right?
Check.
Yeah, you said this was your July sheet load, right?
July 2020.
2020.
So if you're interested, you can just go to YouTube and search for July 2020, and it should pop it up.
What does that?
My downloads are free for subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, all you have to do is click that button and then listen. You do have to listen for the instructions of how to download it, but.
Aha. So how many are you making out of a sheet load for this?
Originally, this called for 8, but when I was cutting my paper last night, I did figure it out where I can get 12. Because you know me, I love to make as many as I can.
That's quite an adjustment. Are you going to put out a new version of it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe someday.
Because the reason that I didn't go more, like if you'll see here, I try to always stick to where each cardstock gets cut the same way, whether it's one or multiple. Mm-hmm. And I would have had to do another piece of cardstock differently. Now, I did do that recently where there were lots of different cutting guides, but it was really matted. And I do have some subscribers who go ahead and figure it out for themselves how to get those extra.
Yeah. I get it because if you make it too complicated, nobody wins.
Yes.
And because people get frustrated. We did talk a little bit about this before we started today, and that was it's kind of a thorny subject. But do you spend much time being able to craft for your own enjoyment?
I would say 99% is making videos.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely do I just come down and make something for fun anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I could have worse things that I have to do, than make a set of cards for a video.
Yeah.
But it might be nice every once in a while. Like this is just kind of playing around.
Yes.
I am in March. I'm participating in an online little stamping thing with my sister, so that will be purely for fun, and that is a good time.
Oh, sweet. Way to go. Way to plan it. Do you have the...
I forgot.
Yeah.
On Sundays, my mom and my sister and I get on Zoom, and we do just craft for fun. We just get on
Sorry,
and we
Mom
just chat
and sister.
and craft. Yeah, and I know I saw them both on here. Sorry about that.
They're going...
But yeah, that's fun.
What about us? What are we? Chopped liver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Michelle wants to know when you started doing the sheetloads of cards.
I think my first one, I used to do an e-zine. So if you're know what that was, it was electronic magazine or something.
Yeah.
So it was just a file like back in probably 2008. And I did that for a couple years, and I stopped in like 2010.
That was pretty darn early.
And it used to be like, wow, probably like a 6 to 8 page file, because I also had people making samples, but they would only show like one card. So I like now that we get to see more from the collaboration team.
How did you find people to collaborate with? Are they people that you knew from the industry, or how are you involved with the industry, so to speak? Also.
I'm not, Mary. I keep trying to get my foot in the door.
Well, what's wrong with them? Seriously,
right,
industry,
right?
get with it.
I put out a collaboration call, so I had some people apply for the first team, and then I had my friend Danny. I asked her, and since then, like I've asked a couple other people, as you know, as collaboration team members decide to leave. Like if I see they're really like on Instagram, if they're doing sheet loads every month and they're really inspiring, I'm like, hey, you want to join the team? Because I love what you do. But
nice.
It is all out of the goodness of their heart. They don't get paid for this. It's awesome that people want to do that for me.
Oh no, you'd be fun to work with, and you have a great idea. I don't know what's wrong with. Well, so industry. I'm not a part of the industry, and I don't really want to be a part of the industry. I love what I'm doing right now. I'm just real happy. And so if there's anything I can say it and and not be a problem. But what would that look like for your dream industry position then? What kind of thing would you like to see yourself doing?
Well, and see, for me, I guess when I say that, it would just be like being on like a big stamp company's design team.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be out like making stamps or making products. Like that's not what I see. But I think it would be fun to get some stamps, to use. But I do have to say that, recently more people have been speaking out like, it's not all roses and rainbows, that again, you're making specific things. So I don't know, maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I can have to buy all my own stuff and I can make whatever I want. So
yeah, that's you gain some independence and not have any more additional deadlines this way, and maybe that's okay. I know I have heard people speaking out, and change is inevitable in every industry, and we've seen it. I've seen it. My gosh, if you've been crafting since the 1990s, And you have seen a lot. Because when I've said this story before, when I first started stamping was in the 1990s also. Direct sales were about it. It
Yes.
was, and they did a huge service to promote the craft, and we're all glad they did. But it sure has changed. Now everybody has their own little studio or their own little YouTube channel. They have oftentimes make their own stamps, and here's another company popping up. But it's all quite lovely that way. I think it improves the service that we get. And not that service was bad in the first place with direct sales, but you know, it all helps us all, I guess. So that's maybe what you're dreaming. Well, maybe somebody will watch this and call you up, and will you let me know if they do?
Well, I've got to be like in the fall, I was on Scrapping for Less, and that was loads of fun. It was like getting a little present each month, but they closed down. But
Yeah. It's okay that sometimes our life is arranged by others.
yeah.
Scrapping for Less, that was kind of a big company, wasn't it? Or was it? I didn't.
They had like monthly kits. She put Teresa owned that. She put like monthly kits together, and it was fun because you got 4 different kits that were usually around one theme, and it was just fun to get that and create with it.
Okay. Well, you have been crafting all your life. Do you have like fine art inspiration? Do you draw, paint, and that kind of doodle kind of thing? Do you design on your own?
My sister got all that talent when it comes to like painting and that. I could cross stitch you something again because there's a pattern. You know, it's very specific. Yeah. But no, I'm sure, you know, like maybe I could follow a Bob Ross thing. But I would have to have somebody teaching me every step.
Well, you know, people do teach things, and that is a lot of. I sneak a little drawing into my classes. And,
really?
I do, and painting. And I sneak those little things in, not in big quantities because it's scary to people. But I sneak it in, and they have the option. They do have the option to send in homework, and and show off their learned skills. But we also have a lounge, which is like a forum, and they can put projects in there too if they don't want it public. But it's good. But yep, I think doodling and drawing and things like that are so much fun. And so, yep, you can learn everything. I learned how to. You can learn everything. You really can. There are tricks to oil painting. There are tricks to portraits. I've done it all. So, or learned it all at least. Not taught that one. No, I don't want to. But,
well, I guess I did just remember, if you've ever been to, like, I don't know if Disneyland has it, but Disney World, they will teach you how to draw Disney characters.
Yeah?
I could have done that our entire vacation.
See?
Because it's like, oh, draw an oval here, draw a circle there, draw, you know.
Exactly.
That was a lot of fun. Yes, yeah.
If you break it down, people can do it. If you, I just did a fundamentals on introduction to mixed media. And because it is so freaking scary to look at a mixed media piece and go, it's so complicated. What do you do for this? But if you break it down, it is not mysterious at all. And so
we have a few questions.
Oh, okay.
Brenda would like to know, Crafty Al, how do you select the paper combinations?
Oh, good question, Brenda.
All right.
That you use?
Yeah, I get that a lot. That actually is a good question. So I'll just bring back in my sketch. Normally, sheet loads, you need 2 or 3 pattern papers. And when I select mine, I try to only make one busy or that has multiple colors. And then I try to bring in the other colors in the pattern paper, but in smaller patterns. So sometimes a sketch that shows on sheet load, you'll get the idea. You know, like I have the floral back here, and then just yellow stripes from, taken out of the yellow flowers. So I myself couldn't mix and match more than one paper line, so I stick with same collections or same paper pads. Like these papers, let me get this out. This is Crate Paper Open Book, and this is actually the front and back of the same paper. So that made it really easy to put together.
That's pretty.
That answered the second question. The second question was, what paper are you using?
Yes. Isn't it pretty? It's gorgeous. I loved the florals as soon as I saw them. And those little dots. I have something about polka dots, those little black and white dots in the background.
It's a beautiful filler. It's a beautiful filler. It takes away the starkness of the empty space. And it's a nice little buffer for your little eyeballs to rest on. So you're cutting the front just a little bit smaller, which is a real easy way to step up the fanciness of a card.
And the pieces that I cut off the front will be my sentiment later.
Oh, how smart you are. That's real good stuff. You are a genius. You should do this on YouTube.
Right. I should make videos.
You should make videos.
I have a question.
Oh.
What's the first step you take when you're creating a new set of your sheet loads? How do you approach it?
Love it.
So I try to find a card for inspiration, and then I have to figure out if it will work with Sheetload. I do try to keep it where everything's usually rectangles or squares, just so you don't have to have any special, die shapes. And then I kind of sketch it out. I love graph paper. I'll sketch it out to see, like if it will fit, if it would fit on a 12 by 12 and how many cards I could end up with. And then once I kind of have it figured out, then I'll go to my computer and start using my Illustrator. Does that answer it, or do I need to go further?
You can always go further.
So the ways that your collaboration team changes things then maybe are things like they do a die shape instead of just straight rectangles and things like that? You see that a lot?
Yeah, and where I might have a rectangle with a sentiment on it, they just might do a stamp that's die cut there instead. And this isn't a good example, but a lot of times you can rotate the sketch, but this is not a good example for that one.
Right.
If you want to add layers or embellishments,
or maybe even make
ribbon,
it a fanciful
fibers. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just offering, which is a great thing to offer. I shouldn't say just in the same sentence, but you're offering something that's pretty straight up and down, easy to follow for an attractive card, and then just let yourself go wild.
Yeah.
I like that.
You can. When I originally did Sheetload, there was a feature, I think I called it Simple, Special, Stunning. And each month, one of the design team members would make 3 cards using the sketch, and they would just step each card up just a little bit to show you how it could be different and made fancier.
Yeah, because that's a great thing. Sometimes I think we get just a little too literal and go, well, I have to do it this way. I have to do it this way. And you really don't. You can really have fun with things. You can take something like that design, and I can see you could make that into an easel card, a Dutch door card. You could change it up with all sorts of extra pieces of paper, but still use your basic same design to get you started.
Right.
I love jumping.
Yeah, and you could use the scraps on the inside of cards, if you have leftover pattern paper too.
Or you could. Do you ever take the scraps from your sheet loads and make? You said you used a scrapbook. You don't any longer. Have you ever thought about having an extra project, which would be making using your sheet load
Mary.
into
Funny you
scrapbooking?
ask that, Mary. I have been trying. I don't turn it into a scrapbook, but the past few months I have been trying to do a Sheetload leftovers feature where I'll take the pattern paper I have left and just make new different cards.
Well, look, see, you always are changing, isn't that? I mean, I think Cut the Crap will change too, but I think we're off to a great start, and I really appreciate you being here.
I do too. Yeah.
What are you guys thinking? Of course, you're going to be nice, aren't you? But
Crafty Days has
fun.
a question.
Crafty Days.
Have
Cute.
you ever
That's
thought
my
about,
sister. Full disclosure.
Hi there.
Have you ever thought about doing any other sizes other than A2?
Oh.
Sheetload.
So we have done one special Slimline edition, and I've been thinking maybe trying a mini Slimline coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just fit in those cheap envelopes you can get at Dollar Tree. I tell you, I'm all about economical here.
Yeah.
You know, like when I do Slimlines, I don't buy fancy envelopes. I just use a business size envelope, and it floats around a little bit.
Yep. Me too.
But that's
I don't
probably
even,
the only other size.
I say the thing I look for that makes me so excited on an envelope is not the designing on it, even though that's like cherry on a top. It's the return address. I look at that and see it's from somebody that I want to hear from, and it's like Katie barred the door. I want to get right in there. There's two approaches when I get a card. I either sit down, brew myself a cup of tea, maybe get something to snack on, sit down and just relish it, or I just rip into it and go, oh man, it's so fun to hear from you. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's just the best, isn't it? So
It is, especially now.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, somebody cared enough to send me something. And I use cheap envelopes too. Nah, it's just buying by the book, and not gonna mess with it. But I do appreciate those that would take time to do it. I'm just not my jam, and that's okay. So, what are your favorite color combinations then? What do you like the best? What is the one that you go, when you go through your papers and you see them and you go, I got a lot of this. What is that combination?
I don't know if in my papers I have a specific combination. I have so many paper hot buy pads from Michaels, and they're florals, tons of florals, and there's something about butterflies. I made a card, I shared it over the weekend, where I use like pink and silver, so I like to maybe use like one color and a metallic. That's probably it. What's your favorite color combination?
See, I don't know. It's pretty much whichever one I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I am not the person who wants to be. But at the same time, when I find myself looking at something that often has a pretty blue in it, so it's pretty much blue and something else. So blue and something else is my favorite color. See, I chose blue here, analogous colors here, and blue and something else, just for my silliness, my silly painting that is just relaxing. So when you do Zoom with your mom and sister now, so they're also crafters.
Yes.
Didn't skip a generation or anything.
No, growing up, my mom would always she made a lot of she did a lot of cross stitch, made a lot of sewn things. Like I remember helping her stuff tubes of fabric for Christmas wreaths. Like that's one of my earliest memories.
Oh.
I don't know if those ever, if they're still around, but I do remember that.
Aw. That's
And
pretty
maybe
sweet.
I'm totally remembering that wrong, but that's what I thought I was doing.
You start remembering the memory. And and it's kind of like, let's make it the way we want it. So that's kind of my thing on scrapbooking. Make sure you make it the way you want it, because you're going to remember it that way. So don't save the bad stuff, save the good stuff. I like it that way. So what are you going to put for a sentiment on there? Do you have a favorite sentiment line? It looks like something I'm not familiar with.
This is, Oh, I better cover that up before I get it over stuff. This, my broken case. So I love sentiments that have like a cursive word and then like a sans serif or a serif printed font with them.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of those. The ones I'm using today, they are from Paper Tray Ink. No longer, I think that company is named something different now.
Right.
So they're not any longer in business, but I have Signature Greetings 1 and then Signature Greetings 2. But Pretty Pink Posh, I think, they still make ones like this, but that's my favorite kind of sentiment.
Mm-hmm. Julie Tillman, Paper Tray Ink. Julie Tillman, do you remember her, Mojo Monday?
No.
They always came out with a sketch every Monday. And it was a challenge blog. And I loved it. Man, every Monday morning I would run to Paper Tray Ink, to Julie Tillman's Mojo Monday. I thought
that's weird because like I was really into their board and stuff too. I can't believe I didn't know about that.
Huh. I thought everybody, because I was pretty, I thought everybody that did Paper Tray Ink was pretty much goddesses, crafting goddesses.
Yes.
And
yep.
I would just study them and almost not stalk them. No, that would be creepy. But I did. I just wanted to breathe the air they breathed because I thought they did so well. And they did a great lot of things for the industry too. So, and I have, Julie had actually been a close to my heart consultant at one point, and we've exchanged Christmas cards. It was like, I felt like I was almost famous. But super nice woman. And, but yep, good old Mojo Monday. Never in my whole United States or my whole United States life did I ever think I would have a challenge blog. But Craft Roulette is a challenge blog and a game. So you just never know what's going to happen. What do you think the future of papercraft industry is going to go?
I think that's one of those deep questions that
you told me not to ask. Okay, let's change it then. Let's go retro. What is that? No, thank you for be right there with me. Just tell me to shush. What was one of your favorite changes in the industry then over the last decade? Which you have to remember was really, a decade is only 10 years. It's really nothing.
I mean, like, I have to be honest. I don't know that there was like a change, but I see like a negative as like every month something new, like buy more, here's a new release. I don't know if I have a positive one. I'm sorry. Do you?
Well, no, it changed my life, all those non-ending releases. It was like, no, I'm done. Peace out. We'll see what we've got. I think this year people more than ever, maybe it's just because it's like new car syndrome and it's what I'm doing, so I'm noticing other people do it. But people that just go, yeah, I got enough stuff, and I'm just going to learn how to use it. And that's kind of what I'm thinking is a change this in the last year at least. But it might just be a new year. Oh, we got to go on a diet kind of thing too.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like new release, I got to have it. So I don't know. I'm glad I don't have that responsibility. I got to tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know how how they keep coming up with more stuff. I mean, I love it. I love to see all the new stuff, but let's be honest, I can't be buying all that.
Nope.
So, I mean, like this stamp set, let me see if there's a year on it. I mean, like, it's 10 years old at least, and it still stamps,
right.
They're
going to have to make stuff that doesn't keep.
Like cell phones.
Yeah.
Self-destructs, that's right.
There you go.
Yeah, little burner stamps. This can be used for 25 times, and then it self-destructs. Mission Impossible stamps. Don't you dare. Don't do that at all, because I Boy, I like.
They do that though because they take them off of sale.
That's true. That's true. They take it out of the cycle so that you can't have it. But there's so many companies now, and unless you have a really strong product line design, there's a chance that somebody else has it too. But there's new stampers. I've run into them every once more now that I'm in the craft roulette thing, but there are new stampers, and so it's so exciting for them to be able to have so much opportunity and choice. I like it for them. I'm real happy for them. But yeah, I am
glad the industry is still around though, because I mean, just being able to send and make cards, I think so many more people are getting into it because this is now really the only one way to keep in touch.
Mm-hmm. It is good, and it's pleasant, and it's doable, and you can get it done, and there's lots and lots of people that will encourage you, and it's good that way. It is good that way.
Mary asks if you ever do purges of your stash.
Used to.
I have a hard time, I don't think I could get rid of a stamp set, but about every year I go through my pattern paper and I give it for when I did my rearranging here, I probably had at least a foot tall stack of pattern paper. So I asked, the teachers I used to work with, does anybody want this? And they came and got it. So
yeah.
But I cannot get rid of a paper punch or a stamp set or a die.
Well, but you've developed the lines or the products that you like.
Yeah.
And that's
right. I mean, because what if I would have gotten rid of this stamp set, I mean, what would I be making cards with today?
You would have had to handwrite it, and then you'd have to learn about calligraphy, and that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah.
No, that's a good choice for that card too, because it goes together. Do you know that you have do you feel like you have an instinct for knowing what stamp sets go with a pattern paper or anything? Because you have those look great together.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do some big, bold, I'm trying to think of like a font, like a billboard font with these soft papers. So that I can figure out.
Yeah. But that does take a little bit of understanding, perhaps, that a new person may not understand, or they come up with a whole new trend and new genre because they combine things that it's kind of like that darn wheel. Makes you put things together you'd never put together.
Most definitely.
But it always seems to work somehow. So yeah, but I think you did a good job of your choices there.
Thank you.
And what will you do with these cards?
A lot of them I could send out. I try to send cards to subscribers who send me a card. Oh. So lately I've been making a lot of cards that I could just send to people like, hey, hi, thank you, thinking of you. Mm-hmm. I'm not making a lot of happy birthday or anything. That way I can send them out, and because I appreciate anybody who takes the time to send me in a card. So I usually do try to respond. Yeah. If you send in a card every month, though, you just get one probably about every 3 months.
So stretch it out. Put it on your calendar. Don't do it too often.
Yes.
And you have your...
I love to receive cards every month, but...
It is fun. Do you have your post office box or something in the writings on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, in every one of my description boxes, except maybe really old videos, my P.O. box is in there. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to go there and see an envelope in there. I try to go on Fridays, so
that's what
it's always exciting.
Do. Yeah, I know. I think I got some things coming in my P.O. box, and I'm excited to go out Friday.
Yeah.
It is
something. Who doesn't like to receive something besides a bill?
Ugh. They don't make bills. If they would send a card or something with bills, maybe that's an industry future place, is having card makers.
Might ruin cards, though.
Might ruin cards, it's true. But they could have card makers making cards to put in bills to cheer up the people. I know you have to, with a kind word, I know you have to pay your bill. But here's a card to tell you we appreciate you using our service that everybody has to use.
What are 5 things that you use every time you craft?
Oh.
My ATG. My trimmer. I have talked about this. I had a series around Christmas about my favorite crafty things, but I need a rotary trimmer, a rotary blade with a nice clear ruler where none of the important dimensions are cut off. I've had, like in the past, like the 5.5-inch mark is cut off, or the 6. So that would be number 2. Wow.
We're counting.
More and more, yeah. More and more lately, I love my Misty, even though I didn't use it today because I switched stamps. Gosh. Oh, I use my non-stick scissors a lot to cut sticky stuff, and I place gems and pearls with them or glue dots. And pattern paper, will that work?
Somebody said during one of the craft roulettes, they said, guess what Crafty Al's favorite product is? And they said pattern paper. Somebody knew you pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, pattern paper. You use it every time almost. That's the question, right?
Yeah.
So.
Recently, at one of our Sunday play dates, I did kind of make my own pattern paper with stamps, but that's not my favorite.
That's what I'm doing right now, is just making pattern paper that I'll cut up for cards.
That's a good idea, but
it's just relaxing. Well, those are all good. You guys are smart question askers. Slock, I'm just seeing Slock all over the chat. Mary Rice says absolutely no new purchases this year. Oh, because you cleaned out your mama's house. Yeah. I think one of my every time I go to an estate sale, I come home and go, I'm never going to buy anything ever again, ever, including food. I'm done. It's just so overwhelming to see how much stuff people have in their houses. And I don't want to part with my stuff either, so I understand. But
I mean, I'm always going to stop buying, but then stuff keeps getting me. Like just today, I made a total impulse purchase of a stamp set on eBay. Do I really need it? No, but...
So you buy on eBay too? I've never done that. Do you go to Etsy?
I usually do not, but the stamp set I wanted, it's discontinued. And that was the only thing. That happened over the weekend too, because I have a set of State Quick Cuts dies, and I was only missing Hawaii, so I found that on eBay.
Well, I've never... How about Etsy? Do you go to Etsy to buy things?
I do sometimes, like digital files. Over Christmas, my daughter is way into anime stuff, and a lot of Etsy sellers had stuff that she wanted about her favorite animes. So
okay, all right. Because I didn't realize, I was looking on Etsy before Christmas, I think it was, something or other, and there were lots of old stamp sets that I didn't have any idea people sold on, and because you just kind of, I had an Etsy store at some point, but it was just too much work. I couldn't keep up with it. So, just, you have to...
What do you do with all your cards now? I get that a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I ask myself that a lot. What am I going to do with all these cards? But so many I use, but you can, I had a customer who said she has her own Pinterest board for like old catalogs that she would find cards in that she liked, and she'd take a picture of them or whatever, and then make her own Pinterest board out of those. So you could make your own Pinterest board, private or public, of just the cards and then get rid of them. But it's a tangible thing. I like to touch them. be touched, my little cards. So, what do you do with them then? Do you keep one for samples or do you go digital?
I have drawers full of cards. Before COVID, my mom would come every few months and I would, pass some off on her to use or
Mm-hmm.
give to friends. But now, yeah, they're stacking up, and the cards I get from subscribers, I want to like donate to like a nursing home or something
Right.
locally so the residents can send out cards.
I do that. But anything that I think would be a technique sample or something that would start me up again, because of the teaching and the preparing for that, is my
Yeah.
excuse. It's just an excuse, but it's a darn good
Yeah,
one.
if I make a single card that I really like, that probably does stay here with me. Just so I can grab it out later and it will. Oh, maybe I'll make another one like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I don't make a lot of single cards.
No. I was thinking, for our anniversary show for Craft Roulette, I could get cards from each one of the weeks that I've made and make a package of them and give them away. And I thought, but I've actually given some of those away, so I don't have them all. But it's still an idea I guess I could develop.
There are boxes of cards in this room.
And I love going through them because they make me remember when I made them, which is really crazy. But I can remember making them and having other people copy them or making them for a class or when I learned the technique and all. They're like scrapbooks in a way for me. They're little memories. So it's what comes with the package here. It's just, there are boxes of cards here. And I give away tons of them. So last fall I did a purge. No, not a purge. A fast on buying. And I kept track of how many cards I made a week. I was surprised. I'm prolific. So would you describe, how many cards do you think you make a week then, Missy?
Sheetload and otherwise.
Yeah, I'm trying to I guess if we averaged it out over a week, if like I took a month, I would say like 15 a week just because when I make cards, I make so many.
Mhm. Mhm. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot more cards than I would send out, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I definitely make more cards than I can send out.
But I'm working on the sending part this year. Just surprise cards, little surprise party cards, and just to cheer up a little box of boring mailbox.
The chat is talking about becoming collectors of papers and stamps.
Let's see what they're saying.
Yes.
I've been collecting a long time, and I did used to do purges when I was a consultant because I always had to have room for new stuff. But I don't anymore. Now it's like I want to keep everything because I like it.
Yeah, that would be sad. Like I've never been a consultant because then you're I guess you're not stuck with that one line, but I would hate to have to get rid of all the stuff I bought because it was no longer in a catalog or for sale.
Right. Yep. It was a business deal. And some things I would keep, but then I never felt like I could share them.
Yes, yeah.
Because it was frustrating too. But now when I am trying to choose my stamps, I do try to choose stamps that, even though I've had them for a while, they are currently available at different companies, and I can guide that people to that direction.
Yeah.
Like the bears. The bears are popular right now. I've got a bear that I've had for 4 or 5 years. And so I don't feel bad about using a bear.
Yeah, because you're right. There are a lot of bears out
There,
there right
there
now.
are. And like Stampin' Up! Has a snail, so I pulled out my snail. And just things so that people don't get frustrated as watching somebody. Oh, that's great. She did. I want to do that too, but there's not a stamp. So I just try to be thoughtful about that because it would be frustrating. I want to make that because, when you get that itch or that nudge.
Yeah, obviously, like my stamp set today.
Yes, that's right. You want to have it.
So I decided I needed a stamp set that had like a pair of shoes, like Converse in them.
Saw that.
So I had to go find one.
And you did find one.
I did, but it also has like headphones and a guitar, which I don't need, but
Someday.
that'll be okay.
Someday. You're ready.
Yeah.
It's just preparedness. Thinking ahead, preparing for that card of the future. See, you just are so ahead of yourself, you don't even know it.
That's right. Someday I might need a guitar.
Setting your own trends today. Trending tomorrow based on today's stamps. Now that's actually a really good slogan. Trending tomorrow based on today's stamps. That would be a good thing. You may not need it now, but you may play guitar. Do you play an instrument?
No, my sister played clarinet and like did it all through high school. So of course that's what I was going to do. And I think we could start in 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I made it past 5th grade. Like, yeah. I don't know. It was not for me. I would like, if I could do anything, I would love to know how to play the guitar, but
You're still young. You can learn a little tiny bit.
I looked some videos on YouTube and I honestly don't think my brain could do that. Like, figure out all those fingers. Yeah.
Think of them
I
as
know my
mathematic
limits. I know my
formulations.
limits.
I thought it would be fun to learn how to play ukulele because I thought the strings would be easier to deal with and they're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, you don't even come up out of your craft room. So when are you going to do this?
Yeah.
So let's be real here.
Yeah, I wanted to play the guitar because you might have noticed from my room I'm obsessed with Hamilton the musical, but I'm also obsessed with the Chicks, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks. And on Amazon, they had a signed guitar from the Chicks, and that's the only reason I'm like, I could get that guitar and I could play it.
I'm sure the ability comes with the guitar.
Yeah, yes.
That's why I liked auto
osmosis.
harps. Because auto harps, all you had to do was push down the button and go run like Granny Clampett. That's why I liked those. It didn't
That
take...
might be better for me.
Yeah, we could do an all-girl auto harp crafting band. Stamp and strum.
There you go.
And we can sing wonderful songs about, we can do parodies of songs with stamping lyrics. And
The Weird Al Yankovic of...
Yes. But we're not really going to do that because we don't come out from behind our masks and do anything but crafts. So
right, if I'm
world.
upstairs, I'm like, I should be downstairs doing something.
I want to be downstairs doing something. It's not a discipline for me to spend time at my mask. It's a discipline for me to get away from my mask. Mm-hmm. And I know my husband one time told my daughters, somebody in the family said, "Go get your mom out of the basement. She's been there all day." Like, yeah, I like it there.
So Al, why did you start YouTube?
Good question.
That is a good question. I was never really into YouTube until right before I started my channel, and I discovered something called pocket letters. And I watched hours and hours in the summer. I'm like, well, I'm going to make a pocket letter and I'm going to share it on YouTube. And if you go back and watch it, which please don't, but I mean, I seriously had this teeny tiny tripod sat in front of me on my like table so I could do a little project share in front of it. And it was fun to like get like thumbs up and get comments and get subscribers. And I think that just I kept wanting to do that.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Would it be like maybe 4 years ago?
Okay. Well, you've done very well.
I'm not sure.
You've done very well on building your group and things, right? So I think you've done great. I'm glad that pocket letter came along here and visited you and gave you an
Yes,
edge
and I have
a
not made a
nudge.
pocket letter in years now.
Laura asks, what is a pocket letter?
It's, gosh, I wish I had some, but they're here somewhere, but they are definitely put away. So if you get baseball card sheet protectors, there's 9 pockets in there, and you decorate each pocket, and you might put something in the back of it. I like to make like one shaker pocket, and I treated mine more like a whole scrapbook layout, I guess, because I would try to decorate the whole front, the same. And then, yeah, in the back, you might put like stickers or ephemera that go with the theme of the pocket letter. And then you can mail it. There were a lot of groups where you could mail that stuff to people, to pen pals.
They fold up, and so they fold up and fit in a business-sized letter.
Yes.
Or envelope. So they're real pretty, and sometimes you put little presents and things in it, like little ephemera and stuff, so that the person gets a little gift.
Yeah, there was like, you do a little note, or I might do like a little card, like my top 5 favorite websites or my favorite foods, and I would fill it out. Just kind of a get to know you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never spent much time on them, but I go to a craft store every once in a while, and not often. But they have them, and they're very pretty to look at. They're like just 2.5 inches by 3 inch little eye treasures.
Yeah.
And all on a grid of, I think it's 3 across, 4 down. So you have this whole big thing to look at, and then you start looking at the little individual pretties.
How long did it take before you decided to start upgrading your setup? Because you knew you were wanted to make better videos.
I mean, honestly, just like 2 weeks ago is when we got like the real studio lights and put those up. Otherwise, like a couple years ago, I invested in like a fancier a fancier tripod. But honestly, I record with my phone. I try to make do with what I already had or stuff that I could buy really affordable. I'm not going to buy $1,000 camera, just starting out. I do have to say, I did go overboard and I got a MacBook. But I mean, I use that for so many other things that it's not just for this.
Yeah. What would you, if somebody wanted to start a channel, would you give them some advice on what they need to do?
Well, don't start it to make money. Start it because you want to share.
Yes. I like that.
Because I do it for fun. I mean, if you want to start a YouTube channel, I say go for it, because why not? That's what I did. I'm like, I'm going to put a video up and see how that goes.
Yeah.
But do it, yeah. And it's a lot of hard work, too. I worked in an elementary school, and all these kids were like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to make millions. Nobody realizes, I don't think, how it's a lot.
Yeah. Like you were saying, each sheet load takes so much time that if you break it down on how much you're getting paid an hour,
yeah, right.
We're not going to ever want to look at that.
No.
But yeah, I think that's a really good point. If you want to do it for the sharing, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's real spot on. Maybe somebody should share with us how they do it to make a lot of money, and we can talk to them, and maybe you and I can learn.
If they actually make a lot of money, they won't tell us.
No, that's probably right. That's probably right. Those little stinkers. But I suppose you got to protect your income, I guess. So I understand. But
I mean, I'll give you all the tips you want on how to try to grow your channel. I am no professional, but I think I did learn some things that I think are handy. You know, like keywords are your best friend. Yeah, keywords.
SEO, it's all about the SEO.
Yep.
And what's the clickbait things that you fall for every time? I know there are certain things that I see and I go, I'm not going to click. I'm clicking. What's the matter with me? Why you quit? Or all those things that, what are the clickbaits that you fall for?
The future of my channel. You'll never believe what happened.
Yes, you'll never believe.
Yeah, what was it? I think just last night. And I'm like, that's what I clicked on? I can't remember what it was, though.
And then you're going to get more of it.
Yes. What's your favorite non-crafty YouTuber?
Mine?
Do you watch any?
Crafting YouTuber.
Do you have any?
I don't think I do.
No.
I just watch crafty YouTubes, I think. I don't think I watch anything much else. What do you do?
Oh gosh, it's I know we've talked about this offline before, but like true crime, like there's a channel called That Chapter that he just talks about true crime, and I love podcasts. And I'm also like a sucker for reality TV recap, even if I don't watch it. Yeah, I don't get it.
No, I don't watch anything like that because I'm easily sucked in and frightened. But so I got to be. I'm real careful about my little eyes and what they see because I can go off pretty fast, and they can revisit me in the middle of the night. So I don't. No, I don't want any crimes. I think life is scary enough. So, don't do cooking. I do watch cooking things sometimes, which is funny because I don't cook anymore. But yeah, cooking things still get me. Yeah, or animal things. Yeah, I do watch some animal things. So, because they're so cute. But then sometimes now I'm like, oh man. I don't know if I trust this animal person. They may have stuck that horse down in that well just so they could be on the YouTube. And
oh, really?
It's like, I don't know if I trust anybody anymore. But
oh.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah. I saved this hippo from when it fell into a gulch. Well, how in the heck did the hippo get there in the first place? But anyway, you don't tell that part. So I don't know. I think I watch mostly... So who are your top 3 YouTube crafters? And do you watch other kind of crafts? Or is it mostly, do you watch quilting or anything like that? Because I can't, because they have such straight lines. Oh.
Yeah, no, I am just a paper crafting when I watch it. I don't watch as much as I used to because, let's face it, I don't have as much time as I did.
Correct.
But I love me some Jennifer McGuire.
Absolutely.
Kathy Zilski, is my card making idol. I just love her clean, simple cards.
Yep. Because that's your style, clean and simple.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And, I like Christina Werner.
Yes.
There are so many that I watch, but I'm just trying to think of like the big ones.
Yeah, those are the biggies. Those are definitely the biggies right there. You got them in a nutshell there. So yeah, it's nice. They share a lot of stuff. They have done a lot for us little people at our little craft desks with lots of inspiration.
Who's the most unique creator making the most unique content? That might be hard to answer.
It's kind of hard to answer.
Do you mean like
Just
unique as in like technically behind the scenes, or just like what they make?
I guess presentation, idea. Because a lot of people, do voiceovers. I would consider, Sheetloads of Cards to be you kind of need to find a unique space on.
Gosh. I just think Jennifer McGuire can make magic happen with whatever she touches.
Do you think it's her engineering that you relate to because you're mathematically inclined,
she
and she's
is,
got
yeah.
Got that engineering background?
Yes.
You might just like be kindred spirits. Do you think she does
I think that's the
Sheetloads?
same with Kathy, just that clean, simple, yeah. I tried shabby chic, but
Yep, that's a whole nother thing. Shabby chic, it's due to come back in about 3 years. Are you going to be ready for it? How are you preparing?
I still have my brown ink to ink the edges of everything I see. So yeah, probably.
That could be a great clickbait. Are you preparing for the next scrapbook or stamping trend? Okay, we'll watch for that one to come up because that's a good one. That would I would click on that. Would you click on that? Are you ready?
Yeah.
5 ways to prepare for the next trend with products you already have.
I'm all about that.
Yes, I hear you. I think all those things would make me look at it. Totally look at it. Well, shall we ask our lovely people that are in our group here if they have any more questions and answers that they would like to pick Crafty Al's brain one more time before we bid our adieus to our episode 1 of Cut the Crap and Create.
And you can keep your camera down for right now. I'll change it to the other scene. That way you're not too much pedestal.
What do we have? Do you guys think you've gotten to know Crafty Al's inner workings a little bit, and do you like it? Is that fun? Has it been great? I've enjoyed it a whole lot.
I have too. I will tell you, I was super nervous for this, and I'm like, I don't think I can craft and talk, but this has been a blast. Thank you, Mary.
Oh, yay! Kiss our brains. I'm so glad because that was. I didn't know either. I was a little bit nervous this morning, but I told you our nervousness would cancel each other out, and that's two negatives do that. So, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I think it's just been. You are always a delightful guest, and we've enjoyed having you here. Yep, Joni says she's enjoyed it, or thanks so much. It's been great. Do we have any other series ideas? Oh, you never know.
I tell you what, I kick myself all the time that I did not think of Craft Roulette.
Well, you are always welcome to join us at Craft Roulette if that helps. And it's another one of those things you think, oh, Craft Roulette, it's not gonna. It's you just show up and do it. But there's a lot of hours around it.
Well, if you watch the very first episode,
please don't.
Well, it's nothing like what it became. Just because every episode we try and improve something.
Yeah.
Or
I will have to go back and watch and see. Yeah.
Oh, don't.
Hey, if I told people about my first video, you can tell them about yours.
My first video was way back. It was on Ustream, and I think it was 2011 or something like that. And thankfully, all those are gone because Ustream started charging, and I said, "Peace out. I'm done. I'm not going to charge. I can't pay that." Okay, Margine
I'm
says she
totally
learned a
messing up
lot.
my
That's
thing.
neat. Yeah. And Susie Q says Sheetload of Cards is her favorite, her new favorite. Oh, Hilda now would like to see your cards before you leave.
Okay, I can quit inking here and bring them back in.
She's just practicing for her shabby chic that's going to come back in 3
Yeah,
years.
that's right.
Cross Timbers Bison Farm. I'll have to look at Holderness. I've watched Holderness for a long time. Bachelor or Survivor? Now I feel like I am a survivor, so I don't. Yeah. Gardening, that's a good one. Gardening. I do have somebody I want to look up on orchids. The Orchid Girl. Somebody told me to look it up. Francis did, and I haven't. You like the old craft roulettes? You're such a little craft roulette yourself, Brenda. Thank you. Our husband's crafty too. Oh no. No. I had Doug come in after class on Valentine's Day last year and do a card. He'd never made a card, and he was so stinking nervous, and I kept telling him what to do, and we recorded it. It was part of Fun You. But I was delighted because he didn't like it, and I was like, whew. Well, dodge that bullet. He didn't like my craft, so that's good. I didn't want to share. And then, is your husband crafty?
No, he's more handy. But I will tell you that my birthday, it's in April, and so we were in quarantine, like heavy quarantine, my last birthday, and they planned stuff for me to do all day, and one of them was card making. And he did do a very lovely card, and I think he had more fun than he wanted to admit. But if you have something you need fixed, he's going to figure out how to fix it. So
That's terrific. Well, if you need to lay down a drum beat, you can ask my husband, because he's a drummer. So he can tell you about that. But there those cards are. Aren't those just lovely? And you just used the ups and downs of paper. Well done. Yep. So everybody needs to go over to Call Me Crafty Al. We will have her link down below in the description, and make sure you subscribe to her if you don't. How's your Facebook channel going? You were starting that. Are you working on that still, or is that just like on the back burner?
I don't promote it heavily. It's not. I love seeing people come there and share cards too. It's just a fun, just little side thing right now.
Yeah. Okay. But if you follow it, it will start to become more of a real thing. So
yes,
if you're out there,
it's
you can look it up.
It's in my description box. You have to answer those 2 questions and agree to the rules.
Yes.
To be let in.
Yeah. So. And then it's an automatic thing. That's how it is on Craft Roulette's challenge too.
Yeah. It
just makes sure that we don't get robots in there and people that are naughty,
right.
So you can kick them out if they are naughty. So
yes.
Yep. Audrey loves your Facebook channel. So there you go.
It is fun to see. There's I have an album for each of the sheet loads, so if you ever need specific inspiration, you can go there and see what lots of other subscribers have made.
Smart. Well, Crafty Owl is a very smart crafter. I'd give her an A+ on her effort and on her creativity and on her willingness to share, which is huge. We'll take her. Okay. All right. We're gonna see your face one more time. So that would be good. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been wonderful to have you. It's didn't know what it was going to be like. I kept thinking, oh, maybe it's going to be a half hour. We'll run out of things to talk about. But I just looked at the clock, and it's been a really long time. So it's what time do you think it is? It's a little after 1. Yeah, 1:15. So we've chewed the fat for a long time, and that's really. Stephen always said, no, you'll talk forever. Mom, you talk forever. And I kept going, no, it won't. It'll be short. We'll make it. No, not when it's somebody as easy as you to talk to and your slocks. So
My slocks.
Your slocks.
Maybe if I ever get a fan club, that's what we'll be called.
Yeah.
The Slockers.
The Slock Foxes. You can.
And here I thought it would be like Crafty Aliens or yeah, that
I
was
like
my
that
thought.
too.
Was Crafty Aliens.
I like that too. You're good with words. You'll come up with something wonderful. It'll be perfect. So, well, kissing my brain, blowing a kiss to you. Glad that you were brave enough to be our guinea pig. You did great. I appreciate it. Loved having you. I do not have a Cut the Crap sticker for you yet, but maybe someday.
Okay.
In the works. So, any wonderful words to say goodbye, or just
thank you to everybody who came. I know I wasn't very good about while I was crafting answering them, but I will definitely go back through if I can still see the live chat, I will go back through and answer anything. Otherwise, if you leave a comment under the regular video.
It takes YouTube like a day to process it. It's kind of weird. I don't really understand it. So maybe in a day you'll be able to go back and read the live chat, but it kind of hides it, I think, immediately afterwards.
But you were watching the live chat pretty closely, weren't you? I think Stephen was watching it pretty closely, so I think we got a lot in there. When I would peek over, I didn't see a lot of questions. I saw a lot of chatter, but not a lot of questions. So anyway, but if you do have any questions, just holler below in the comments. We'd be happy to have that. If you can subscribe to Crafty Owl, that would be fabulous. Join us again Friday for Craft Roulette on Facebook, and then go to craftroulette.live if you want some more of Crafty Owl, because she's got a couple shows on there too, and you can see her in action with the wheel. It's fun.
Yes. Crafty
Owl, thank you. And industry companies, look her up. She's good. She will. You need Crafty Owl on your design teams. For the love of Pete, get with it. She's good.
She's too economical.
She probably is too economical, but that's probably why she wants it at the same time.
I'm like, use what you have. If you have it, use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not the motto that I should go with.
If you have a Hamilton stamp set coming out, though, she will work for free.
There is a company that has a Hamilton themed set, maybe Trinity Stamps.
Yeah,
they're cute little characters. They're adorable. But again, I'm economical. Frugal.
Frugal's not bad. I'm Scottish. So bum. See you later. That's my homage to you for Hamilton. Thank you all. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you.